Nice. Hi guys, Kibara here today with another music production video. So I have a song that I worked on a couple months ago. It's called God's Love. I came up with the initial idea super quickly, but then I did not work on this track for a couple of months. Now I think I need to finish it because I really like the song. I thought maybe I'd take you along on the ride here. This is not a song that I would start from scratch, so it already has some structure that we will take a look at in a moment, but there are still a lot of things that I want to add. Maybe add some more elements for the drums, maybe change some of the mix down, and the goal is for me to have a song that I would call finished. Let's see if I will succeed. Alright, so let's go into it. This is the structure of the song. By the way, this came out of a live recording I did. You can find a link in the description where I triggered all of these through MIDI controllers. This is what was recorded, and now of course it's time to work on it more now that we have the freedom of unlimited amounts of tracks and everything. So alright, so let's go right into this part here so we get a quick feeling of the song.
The fire that had kept me alive was love, their love, God's love. The fire that had kept me alive was love, their love, God's love. The fire that had kept me alive was love, their love, God's love. The fire that had kept me alive was love, their love, God's love.
Alright, so not many elements at the moment. So we have the drum group over here. Let's listen to it in isolation. So it's just a kick and two top loops I got from a sample pack. I filtered out some low end and high end. And same for the other top loop. So really I did not program much of the beat here myself. Processing wise, I put it through the decapitator to get some more crunch out of it. Then we go to the bass group. So this is how it sounded before. Filtered out, so I just have the lows. And the reason I did this is I did a copy of it, shifted it, where I only have to cut out the lower frequencies. I heavily distorted it. One is the low one. And it's added by the more distorted mid-frequency one. And here you can see I already recorded in some automation for the drive in decapitator. Together with the low bass, it sounds like this. And then with the drums, this already fills out pretty much of the frequency space that we have, the lows and the mids and highs. Maybe the lows is a little bit too much. Later we will play with the levelings. Okay, other than that, I have some steps coming here from the orbits. You cannot really call it synthesizer, more like a sample player. This quite famous synth rack from the 90s. That's why it looks that way. You can really see that it looks very similar to the graphics of this sample player. So some high frequency synth steps. This goes through a lot of processing here, echo and some other delays. So without it would sound like this. And with the effects it sounds like this. Get in some space there. This whole track is very spacey. And since it was too high, because the higher frequencies are already occupied by the top loops of the drum, I did some auto filtering. Okay, then we have the samples here. What I did is I wanted to have some samples in the song, so I went to YouTube, and I'm a huge Fallout fan. This one comes, I think, from Fallout 2, which I did not really play much.
The fire that had kept me alive was love, their love, God's love.
And then just repeats, but you will see already here by the lines that the sound effects over here, so the Echo Boy and the Valhalla Supermassive, which is free by the way, and the infamous Galaxy Echo. So it feeds into the sound effect and it increases in dramatic sense, or whatever you want to call it.
The fire that had kept me alive was love, their love, God's love.
And then the delay continues here when the song already drops.
God's love.
So it's like a smooth transition. Okay, and then we only have two more tracks here. So we have the synth, it's, coming from Diva, and then has some modulation here on the cutoff. So it opens up towards the end of this break section here. And then the last track is some recordings I did from the TRS. Let's have a listen to that. Okay, some snares and high-pitched toms, those type of things. Since this is a drum element, I will move it now to the drum group. Okay, quite minimalistic. I think I am already happy with the structure because that's how I recorded it back when I did this kind of live recording. But let's see what I would like to add. I already started to add some things here in the breakdown section, and I think I will add more drum elements, so I'm not relying too much on these two top loops here. Let's see if the filter freak can do some magic here, like it often does, so let's see. Oh wow, cool. Or maybe it doesn't fit with the other elements. This top loop is a little bit busy, maybe I need to cut it up. Maybe what I can do with this shaker type of thing, I keep on a separate track. Snares and offbeat clicks, I keep on another track, and then I can blend them in and out as much as I want. Okay, let's see how it sounds like just the leftover hi-hat shaky type of things. Okay, and then we have the grooving snares, percussion stuff that we cut out. Let's try to level it. So I still think this one is a little bit too clicky. So maybe what I can do is I can try to use some transient shaper to make it less aggressive clicky. Let's try it out. So the kilohertz transient shaper is free. You can download it on their website together with a lot of other free plugins they have. Really check it out. So if transient shaping is something that's new to you, let's briefly explain what it's doing. It's really not complicated. I don't know how it works technically, but I know how I can use it to change the sound in a way that I want it. Let's open up millimeters so we can have a look at the waveform. Yeah, let's have a look over here. You see basically the transient is the shape of what this waveform has. So this one, this part in the beginning would be the clicky part, and then this one would be the sustain of it. So basically attack and sustain. And if I want to reduce the first part of these waveforms, I reduce the attack. And if I want to increase whatever comes after the attack, I move up the sustain. Maybe we can visualize it actually. I will overdo it now for the effect. You see, I pumped up the attack, so the waveform got really big, but only at the beginning. Now let's see what's happening if I increase the sustain a lot. So the attack didn't really change, but the part that comes after the attack became way bigger. The rest I will do by ear, so now it's already more in the background. Let's compare it to before. And this pump dial can even increase the effect and push it even further into the background. Okay, we need to process these things. I think it could also use some transient shaping, so I copy it over. Let's listen to everything together so we can dial it in. Okay, I think it already sounds better than before. The first top loop has the clap, I think, so let's listen to that. I also want to move it out and maybe replace it with another clap. Same thing, the clap has the level that I want to have, but the other clicking things are a little bit too annoying to me. So I will also split it apart, move the clap out, only the clap, and then the rest, and then I can level it to my liking. So this thing right here, by the way, is a clipper, which I can also use to deal with the transient, but in another way, actually by cutting the attack completely. So you see the attack gets completely cut. If I deactivate it, the attack is more present. So different tool to approach a similar situation. So what I would like to have is this higher frequency part of this more present. So what you can do in a situation like this is to use enhance that comes with Ableton Live, and you can play around with the filter here and the drive and the tone. So it only is active on a certain part of the frequency spectrum. In that case, I would like to be active above 5K maybe. So this is without. And now with the try wet knob, you can increase or decrease the amount of the effect you would like to have. So the higher frequencies get more audible with this filter setting, while the lower frequency stays the same, and then it better fits into the drums. Okay, and now we level the clap that we removed from the top loop. One big downside of cutting out these elements after I did the recording and the automation of the effects is that they are not there anymore. So what do I mean by that? Here you see I recorded the send level into the Echo Boy. Most of the delay you heard from this channel was the clap, and now it's not there anymore. In order to not have to copy the recording of the automation or to redo it, I will do something so I only need to do it once, which is I group the top loops, call it top loop 1 group, and the same for the second top loop. And what I can do now is I can copy these automations to the whole group instead of the individual channels. Okay, so now that I copied the recording outside of the individual tracks into the group, I can just deactivate the automation for the track. So I go here and say delete automation, do it to 0, and now we only have it here on the whole group. And I will do the same over here. Pink was the old one, blue is the new one. I will just replace pink with the new blue, and whatever was automated here doesn't matter because here on the group level I copied it over. All right, let's check it out. Okay, so I worked a little bit on the beat. I added some 909 claps. I added some 909 open hi-hat. Processed them a little bit, and then the beat now altogether sounds like this. We have to see to not add too many elements to it, so I might remove something later down the line, but for now this is the highest level the beat will get to in this song. At this point we just need to know how to put them all together, all these elements that we have so far. So I will play around with this and I will show you the finished result to save some time. Okay, so here we are again. I constructed the drums for now in a way that I think fits. You see that the open hi-hat, the 909 open hi-hat pretty much is there all the way. Occasionally some of the other elements come in and drop out again until they come in again. For the recorded TR-8S delayed stuff, that's only in the second half of the song. So let's have a listen to a part of it, the drums. This is the sum of the processing I did for the group. Pretty much even, maybe a little bit too much of the lower bass here. So here the elements get reduced until we come to the little drop section, break section before it starts again. Okay, I think that's as much as I can do tonight. Quite tired. See you again tomorrow. Then we add some final touch to it and then I think we're pretty much done. See ya. Alright, we're back. It's another day. It's super hot, 30 something degrees. So excuse me if you hear the fan running in the background, but otherwise it's unbearable. Let's get a little refresher of where I stopped off yesterday. So at this point I think the drums and the bass are fine. Let's see what we have to do with the other elements, starting with the synth here. Let's check the levels. Since it's not a real synthesizer, we don't have many options with this one. We can play around with the release and the attack and see if it fits better to the groove. Let's copy over the sidechain. Okay, I think that's good for the moment. Maybe we need to work a little bit on the stereo width of this one. Let's get the imager to see where we're at. Oh no, okay, already has a lot of space up here. In fact, maybe we need to use some bands and put the everything below 250 to mono. What I like to use with instruments like this is the LA2A. It's an optical compressor. Maybe we can get a more stable signal level. Okay, I think we need to reduce some of the lows so it doesn't interfere with other elements like the kick or the bass even. Okay, then we have another element, the step. So this is a little bit hard to deal with because of the automated filter here. Let's start by reducing the highs here and deal with the low end, which I don't need here. So this one goes down to around 200. Okay, this needs some equalizer slicing. So what you could do is you can try to find out which frequency area is annoying you. So this probably quite nice to fill it up, give it some weight. Here it starts to get a little bit annoying. Let's see what happens if we remove this. Makes it cleaner. Basically what I did here, you can more or less automate using Soothe. So let's use Soothe for the remainder of the annoying resonances. Just have to be careful to not make it too thin. Okay, and that's audio level. I will copy over the sidechaining as well as the LA2A. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so I think I'm done for now. I adjusted the levels according to the levels of the other channels. Also, I think I'm done with the compressor at this point for the channels. So let's have a listen to them. That's the second break. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So if you take a look at the frequency spectrum here, you see it's pretty much flat with a little bit of focus on the low end here, which is good for this type of song. And I think the highs are clear. Everything's pretty much clear. I'm happy with it. I hope I don't destroy that later on the master channel with some more compression. All right, so we have two more things to do. We have the strings. Okay, again, I will make my life easy by using Soothe to deal with the resonances that are not pleasant to the ear. But I have to go somewhere where there's actually a kick going on, which is apparently hard to find. Here. So this would be without the sidechaining. And a little bit of pumping with the sidechaining. Okay, I think I want to have some autopan. Okay, and now let's check the Soothe settings. Maybe it can use some saturation. And finally, let's level it with the other channels. And ideally, I don't need to do much processing for the vocal.
The fire that had kept me alive was love, their love.
Okay, I misused the limiter here as a compressor, so maybe again LA2A to achieve the same thing.
The fire that had kept me alive was love, their love, God's love.
Okay, seems like I need to feed a little bit more into it.
God's love. The fire that had kept me alive was love, their love, God's love.
So it's pretty much flat, but a little bit too much lows here. So that is definitely something I want to deal with before I feed it into other processors. Yeah, I suspect it's coming from the low bass here. I'm happy about these here, but this one might be too much. Let's try this out. Okay, I'm quite satisfied with the song at this point. Now it's time to polish them up. You can see with these tracks, they are like blocks. Sometimes it's good to have no transition at all and let it actually drop, like at this point here.
God's love.
So you see you have no bass, no beat, and then it just comes all at once. But usually you want to have some transitions, especially between the bigger blocks you have, like at around 33, 64, those type of common areas where you want to have something like an upsweep, downsweep, stuff like that. And then also in between, so it's not too repetitive. Another 16 bar coming and another 16 bar coming. I will maybe add some reverse crash, stuff like that. And then I think we're done and we can listen to the final result. Right, I'm back. I got myself some cold peppermint iced tea and I did some quick mastering. Let me show you the mastering chain and then we can listen to the final result of this track. Let's go to some section and then we go through it. I used the bobber, as you can see, to remove some of the low end. This is similar to Soothe in the way it works. It's also a free plugin, so without it would sound like this. And with it, it's a little bit thinner. You have to dial it into taste. Next is another Soothe on the master channel. It looks very extreme, but as you will see, it doesn't do too much. Basically similar to the bobber, gets some of the low end out of the mix. Then we have a standard clipper. I think it could do some more because these spikes I don't like. So all of this is headroom that gets taken away. You see it's taking away a couple of decibel without affecting the sound. And I do that so that the final compressor needs less pushing. So I will probably now need to adjust it a bit. So this is ozone, which I like to use for quick mastering. We have some clarity. It's basically leveling out on the frequency spectrum. So it says it has too much between 300 and 2K and not enough between 2K and 15K. Similar for the stabilizer. Maybe it's a little bit too much. Then we have some multi-band dynamics. I like to use just 3 bands. And for this quick mastering, like here, I just go down with this knob here until I can see 1 or 2 decibel of compression. And then usually the rest of the settings I leave as is for this quick mastering. And then it goes into the maximizer. I still have to push it a lot because I go quite low into the whole setting. So let's see. So far the maximizer is not really working. You will see that it's working once this line goes down, but the upward compression is already working. So let's push it a little bit more. This is too much. You hear some distortion. Kick is maybe a little bit too loud. And maybe the clap. Right, you can dial these settings all day. So let's listen to the whole song and see what we got in this 1.5 days.
kept me alive was love, their love, God's love. The fire that had kept me alive was love, their love, God's love. The fire that had kept me alive was love, their love, God's love. The fire that had kept me alive was love, their love, God's love.
Alright, thank you for following along. I will put this song on SoundCloud and Spotify really soon. Maybe listen to it with another fresh eye and see if I change something. Anyway, if you like this type of music production video, following along video, check out my other videos on my channel. Subscribe if you're into that. I'd really highly appreciate it, any comment or anything. You can follow me on the socials where I also share shorter content about music production stuff I'm working on. Yeah, thanks for your time. This was Kabara. Have some nice rest of your day and see you soon.